Hi everybody. Today I want to talk about the journey of embodying your soul and sort of living up to, your soul's mission, who you are at a soul level. Not everybody's going to identify with that because not everybody feels driven to embody that soul. And I never even thought about this for a long time, but then something switched on inside of me that made me realize there must be something deeper. And yesterday I was thinking I'm at the moment looking a lot into my ancestral history, the gifts in my family line, the qualities, the people, what were they like, what did they do, what convictions did they have? So I'm looking a lot into ancestral lineage and the healing and expression and liberation of that. And that shows up in my client sessions as well, which is very interesting. Not surprising because this is how it goes. Usually in my work, what I deal with, my clients often deal with in some level, some capacity, and vice versa. So that feels very interesting to share. And like I said, not everybody's gonna identify with, this, it's not something that can be done from your head or can be chased from your head. Or that's not something I would recommend because it's not really true. It's more a felt sense. It's like a physical sensation of, and I'm sorry if I'm a little bit out of breath because I'm holding the camera, I'm walking through the forest. Maybe I should walk a little slower. Let me just take a breath. So it's a felt sense that it's like a visceral feeling, like a knowing. It's not a believing, it's a knowing that something is pulling you, something that you may not even be able to comprehend or realize, or it's nothing necessarily tangible. And looking into my family lineage, I've noticed, sort of witchy bits, bits of preachers. There's lots of preachers in my family. People connected to spiritualism or religion. People that used a lot of natural medicines like teas and stuff like that. So very, very interesting just to look into that. And I know from a young age, I always had this curiosity for the inexplicable, for like ghost stories and witches, and the sense of there is more than the eye can see in the world. There's more than the physical reality. And when I went to dig into that path naturally through my curiosity, that journey accelerated at some point. And it brought me to the depth of myself. And maybe that's a story for another time, but, I tried out different methods. Oh my God, I don't know if you can hear that. That's so weird, this music. Sorry for the background sounds that you may hear. But when I went deeper into my journey, I tried out so many different methods, practices, even plant medicines. And what I noticed is there is no end to this. There's no end to consciousness expansion, because the universe is expanding. So that literally means we have the capacity to keep on expanding, which shouldn't put pressure on you. It's not about, oh my God, I need to expand more and more and more. No, you get to in your time and in the rhythm that feels natural to you. Okay, so I used to feel like I needed to catch up with others. I used to feel like I needed to get there, but there's nothing to get to. Everything you are is already here. You're so much more than just a body. You're a soul, and part of your soul is embodied. And to recognize or create awareness for what or who you truly are, it's all about expanding our awareness. And that should feel fun, exciting, and curious instead of, oh, I should or I have to. When you come across shoulds and have tos towards, discovering more of yourself, understanding more of yourself, expressing and liberating more of yourself, then maybe it's time to take a break and allow yourself to rest a little or have some fun or, feel a little bit into what would feel good now in comparison to me shooting myself forward. Yeah, because there's really nothing you can get to. Everything you are is already here. It's just literally, and I know that sounds so abstract, and it took me a while to get that, not in this sense, not in the mental sense, but in the integrating, embodying sense of, oh, it landed in my body. That's, like I said earlier, a physical feeling. It's a knowing that settles in with time when you don't force yourself to understand something or be something or get to somewhere. It's literally something that arises when you accept where you're at and then take action on the little things that you can take action on. For example, if you get a lot of intuitive hits, but you never follow your intuition, there will be silence at some point. There will not be any more intuitive hits. And then people are asking me, I lost the touch to my intuition. And I'm saying, no, you didn't. It's just silent because you may have listened to it. You may have acknowledged what it's saying or not, but you haven't taken action on that. So why should your intuition give you new clues if you haven't followed the ones that it has given you so far? You get what I mean? So if you're afraid to move down that path, but you feel also excitement and curiosity to do so, start with little things. I say that all the time. Start with little trust falls towards yourself. If your intuition tells you something, maybe dip your toe in, and try something that's along the lines of what your intuition is saying. And then go from there to build up trust within yourself. Because I know it can sometimes feel like, oh my God, I'm crazy. Like the things that I'm seeing in my meditation or what a voice tells me, not the mental critic voice, but sort of like an intuitive voice. And it's intuitive when it's subtle, when it's calm, when it's not pushy. Yeah. It could be pushy sometimes. I'm just getting this well. It could be pushy sometimes, but that's more like a motherly or fatherly sort of voice then, yeah? Rather than, you're not good enough or, So I hope you get what I'm saying. If not, ask a question in the comments below. So when you're following or when you feel called to follow your soul path, let's call it. Although that sounds cheesy, I know, but I really mean it. And there's so many things that sound cheesy, but when you get the gist of it, when you actually understand it from a deeper level, suddenly those things don't feel so cheesy anymore, which is hard to understand, but it's true. So just, trust me on that. But when you feel, let's say, pulled by something, and let's say you watch a documentary or a movie and it moves you in a certain way, maybe it does something in your heart or it makes your body tingle or it makes you cry, what does it mean to you? Ask yourself, because it's a beautiful opportunity to learn more about what's happening within me. And every time I watch a documentary where people are sort of like breaking through their own limitations and allowing themselves more and more to express their natural self, even if it in their mind would feel like so cringy or so, I cannot do this, people would think I'm crazy sort of vibe. If I see people then breaking through, it does something inside of me, because I love to help people break through, and I know that I want that for myself. And that feels to me like a path that's dedicated to your soul fulfillment, soul expression for this lifetime. And just talking about it just excites me like crazy, because that's a sign for me that's what I'm here for. Something along the lines, is really important to me. And how that maybe you feel similar, and maybe it's a different topic for you. But what excites you so much, or what gets you wanting to go down the rabbit hole, that doesn't need to always be, the work that I do. That can also be painting, or art history, or biology, or hairdressing, or, building a house, marine biology. Don't make it one thing, or don't follow one thing that people advise you or share with you. Learn, what is that for you? What does that mean for you? And that is, I wish I could share that feeling with you, but that is the thing to follow. And like I said, it's sometimes scary. I had a session with a client this morning, and she is at the moment, she just got out of a relationship. She's at the moment still in a job, and she wants to, carve out her own path and discover more of her gifts and embody more of her gifts. And, our session today was about, what do you need to feel safe enough to let yourself go there? Because she wants to, but there are sometimes we limit ourselves out of a perceived sense of safety that we want to keep, especially if we went through something difficult, like a job loss or a breakup or a loss of a member of the family or a disease. All we want is safety and be loved, essentially. So how can you build yourself a foundation of which you feel safe enough to dare and explore more of your internal world, more of your soul path, soul expression? Because what I've learned that makes it easier, oh my God, this music, but that makes it easier for you to allow yourself to even go there, from my own journey, but also from my clients, is when you feel safe, at least to some degree, in your body, in your environment. And again, everybody of us will need something different. For her, it's like building a foundational home that she feels safe and, aesthetics and all these kind of things. And that's authentic to her. That's not just from the mind. What is authentic to you? What do you need? For me, it's like I need a place with windows, big windows, high ceilings, and some degree of nature around, to feel like I can make even these videos, to feel enough connected to a higher, my higher self or soul or higher power, whatever you want to define it, so that I can receive or be in that connection and can work with clients. Even sometimes my work with clients is more spiritual and more out there, and sometimes it's more earthy and more grounded and more in the physical world, depending on what language my client speaks, in terms of what feels real to them and, what do they need on that given day. And you need to find out, what do I need to allow myself to follow that intangible pull that I have. And maybe that flame is teeny, tiny. And maybe that flame is already elaborated. And I had another client send me a voicemail today. And I feel like all these women are just stepping into their power. I love it. Also men, I work also with amazing men that are stepping into their healthy masculine. And I just love my clients. Sorry, little shout out to my clients. And I just feel, again, to that other client of mine who sent me a voicemail today, she said, wow, like after our last session, I just like wrote this down and I just wanted to read it out to you. And she wrote kind of like a poem, and I've never ever heard her speak like that. And she was like, wow, I just read it back and it feels, who is this woman? And I just said to her, this is your soul expression coming through, because you're building safety around you. She's been going through a very tough time, a very tough breakup, a very serious long-term relationship breakup. And like the first thing she needed to do was heal her heart, and also then beyond that, the deeper layers of her programming from childhood, and then build new safety and new foundation for herself. And now that she's created that safety, her body, her mind, her spirit feels safe enough to actually open up. Let's say her body especially feels safe to open up to those gifts that are wanting to come through now in her next iteration and chapter of herself. And in that previous relationship, I think she played small a lot, or, held back a lot, because especially as women, men have that too, I know. Nothing against our men here. We love you. But women especially have that we have so much power that we are not even aware of, whereas men stand more in their power more freely. And women learn so much to suppress their capacity, their capability, their gifts and qualities, to not make a man feel less than, or feel safe in society and all these things. And now I feel like so many women are daring to build their own safety on their terms, and then also rediscover their witchy gifts or their creative gifts and all those things. And I'm just so happy to witness that. And this video is just dedicated to everybody who feels like there's a soul calling, who identifies with that, because not everybody on this channel will. And that's okay, absolutely okay. But those of you who feel like this internal pull and feel not so safe to follow it, you can take baby steps of learning to trust yourself and build a foundation that feels safe enough for you and authentic enough for you to feel like, all right, I can now sort of spread my wings, like a flower that is closed and opens up. That's how I see, and that doesn't need to be male or female, doesn't matter, but like you dare to open up. You're, vulnerable, and you feel safe to take little steps towards the sun, light. And that's really my message for today. I really need to run because I have another session now. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, send it to somebody who needs to hear that, and I see you tomorrow. Ciao.